Hi guys, welcome to WSR Project Controls. This channel is going to be a sharing of my best practices and all the things that I've learned so far in my career as a project controls guy. Hope you guys enjoy this and learn from this. Let's start. Right, so I have created here a simple dashboard, nothing fancy about this, but what's important here are the formulas and techniques that I'll be sharing with you guys. Hopefully once you master those, you'll be able to create a much more nicer dashboard than this. What we have here are charts, Excel charts, slicers. I created a simple macro, resource drop down list. So this was made using data validation. Then your reporting date, plan, actual, and variance. So for the slicers, right, what does slicer do? Slicers filter out things. So for example, I want all those items under type 1. I click type 1, then it will show me all type 1 activities. For the macro, what it does is that it's sorting out your activities based on your planned start date, right? Then for our resources, right, it basically gives you the freedom to select what type of resource you want to show on your resource histogram. So for example, we want manpower for type 1. We click that, then it gives us the manpower. If we want the cost, then it will give us the cost. For reporting date, right, if we change this, our plan and actual dates changes as well. So for example, I shift this to 9th of June, then you see that your plan went to 100%. Then your variance is actual minus plan, right? So now we go to the data sources. The data sources here are very similar to what we did for video number 1. The only difference is that I've added in a few more categories here and a few more resources. But essentially, it's all the same. Plan and start dates. Okay? Next, we go to our formulas. Our dashboard here was built using the formulas under these three tabs. Your pivot bar chart, plan, and actual. So as the name implies, right, you guys would have probably guessed that the whole report revolves around the use of pivot tables. And the main difference between this video and video number 1 is this tab here, pivot bar chart. We will be doing exercise for this later so that I can explain it in detail. And the remaining two tabs, right, pivot plan and pivot actual, I won't be diving into the details of this. So basically, I made video number 1 to explain how this is made. But what I'll be showing you guys here are the improvements that I made to make this report more automated, right? Let's head over to the exercises. The first thing that we need to do is to convert this data set into a table. We need to do that so that our data range is stable. If we don't convert this into a table, right, every time we introduce a new data set, we need to keep on updating the pivot range. And we don't want that. It can be troublesome, especially if you forget to update the data range and it messes up your data. So I would suggest that you make it a best practice to convert this into a table. So how do we convert that into a table? You highlight everything, then you click insert, table, there. So if it changes color, that's the indication that the dataset has already been turned into a table. Now we move over to the references tab. So I usually make it a habit that all my references I put under one tab so that it's easier for me to troubleshoot when I encounter errors later. Okay, now for the mean dates, what we'll be doing is just going to be comparing both the planned start and the actual start, right? So I'm going to put in an if condition here. If mean of planned start is greater than mean of actual start. Alright, let me just amend this formula here. This is not right. Mean of actual start. Then we're gonna make it mean of actual start. Else it's gonna be mean of planned start. Right, so that's 1st of May. So it's gonna be the same idea for max date. Instead of using mean, we're gonna use max. Right, so there you got your max finish. For the reporting dates, we will be doing, we will be linking this with the dashboard later. Resources, we need to name this as resource. So if you can see from there, I've already named it as resource. We will be needing that for the data validation later. Plan and actual will be linked to the S-Curves later. Right, so that's it for your reference table. Next item that we will be doing is the pivot bar chart tab. So to do that, we need to go back to our datasheet, highlight the table, click Insert, click Pivot Table, click OK. Then from here, what we want to call out are the scopes, the plan, and actual dates. So as you can see from here, this is not the layout that we want. So I want this to be converted into classic layout. So I right click, Pivot Table Options, then I go to classic layout. Right. Then another item that we want to eliminate are those total items. So what I need to do is I go to my pivot field list here. I right click, field settings, and I choose none. Right. So there we have it. So next item that we need to clean up is this one. Make sure that the dates are showing the full ones. Yeah. So this is important. I control one or right click, then you click on dates, then you click on this. There we have it. So now it's showing all the things that we would need for us to do an automated bar chart. Next, we need to copy some of the references that we will be needing to create the formulas. Right. Okay, so these are the items that we will be needing for us to create the formulas. Now, let me just add in here. I want to know how many scopes do I have. So I'm gonna put the number there. I change this into count. Okay, so the pivot table is saying that we have 12 scopes for this data set. Then we proceed to linking these references. We then create another table to do our formulas. I've created two tables here. The orange table will be used for the sorting later, and the yellow table will be used for the bar charts. Now for this orange table, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fetch all the dates from the pivot table to the orange table using index match. So first I'm going to use match. My lookup value is scope 1, and lookup array is going to be this side. Then I'm going to lock it. I'm looking for the exact match, so I'm putting in 0 there, right? Next would be I'm going to put in the index. Index array is going to be from this side to this side. Then I'm going to lock it. Then it's looking for a row number, which is our match right now. Then my column number is number 2 because we're looking for the plan. Start. All right. Now we need to format this. Right? So it's going to be the same thing that we will be using for the rest of this. For the yellow table, this is where the so-called magic happens. Let me just pull that out. We will be counting days on this table. Plan before are the days before your activity starts. Plan during is the duration of your activity. Plan after is the moment that your activity is completed until project completion. Actual before is going to be the same computation as the rest of this. The tricky part is the actual during and the actual after. Why? Because it's going to be referencing on two different dates. If your activity is still ongoing, it will be fetching from reporting date. But if your activity is already completed, it will be fetching from the actual finish. Now let's go to the computations. So your plan before is plan start minus minimum date. So you have to lock this. Then let's do a format of this. There. For the plan during, it's going to be your plan finish minus your plan start plus 1 day. For your plan after, it's going to be your project completion date, which is your max date, lock this, minus your plan finish date. Actual before is actual start minus your minimum date, then you lock it. Alright, let me format everything. Okay, next item is your actual during. Let me show you what the error would be like. Actual finish minus actual start plus 1. There. So you see that there is an error here because right now this activity or this scope is ongoing. So we need to create another second condition. Let me introduce a second condition here. If error. So it's saying that if the first formula is error, we're gonna look for the second formula. It's gonna be reporting date, lock this, minus start plus 1. There. So we're gonna do the same condition for the actual after, yes? Project completion, lock this, minus project finish. Then if the activity is still ongoing, we'll be doing this, lock this, minus this, reporting date, lock. Right? So if I sum this up, this should be 42. If I sum this up, this should be 42 as well. Okay, so that's how you do it for the yellow table. Finally, for the bar charts, yeah. So I highlight the whole table, insert, I click this. There we have it. Let me just make this bigger. So the plan here is gonna be the primary axis and the actual bars are gonna be on the secondary axis. Alright, let me format this for you. There you have it. This is the finished product of the bar chart. I will still be doing probably 1 or 2 more videos for this material just to finish the whole thing, yeah? Okay, so see you guys in the next video.